That's right, AEW Rampage is coming August 13th. Yeah, look out. Friday Rampage. Tonight was horrible. Actually, to be honest, not a good show to me from AEW. Still better than Raw, I guess. Not very good. And really the bitterness of AEW censoring a black man bothered me all this show. You know, kind of bothersome. Oh, man. This was not fun tonight, really. That much. Anyway, we got to talk about it. Chris Jericho jumped off the top rope doing a... All right, first Juventud comes out. Juventud Guerrero comes out, and he looks great. Loved seeing Juvi. It was wonderful to see him.
Bum.
I got excited for him.
It felt like their 3 matches and the rest filler, all just trying to get to the main event.
Exactly.
Everything Cody said post-match was in his media call yesterday. 6/10 if this is truly the end for Cody, thank you.
No, this is not the end for Cody, Colonel Stutters. In fact, I believe, isn't this the second time that he basically was like, I'm leaving, and then somebody attacks him, and then he comes back because of it, and then like basically never acknowledges that he was going to leave? Isn't this the second time he's done this, where he's like, I think I'll be giving it up now, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, he's back. He's not... That's the whole thing, was he was going to retire, and then he got attacked. This is the Rocky retirement. The Rocky Balboa retirement. That's what this is. So, the day started with AEW and Tony Khan censoring a rap by Max Caster. And now, actually, Max Caster has been basically... a lot of people. Crazy. So a lot of people hit me up and told me that they that a lot of people got rid of Max from stuff. And I was told by a lot of people. I actually had lots of wrestlers hit me up to tell me about it. And I had lots of people hit me up about Max, and Beyond Wrestling has now gotten rid of Max off of their show. So Max Caster has lost a booking in New England here at Beyond Wrestling. Max Caster will no longer be appearing in tomorrow's event. So no Max Caster. I mean, coming off this just happening, I can sort of see like maybe if this was like 30 days in the future or 40 days in the future, you wouldn't care because you'd be like, all right. But anyway, I don't know, Beyond Wrestling, I can't believe the guy's canceled from events for being a heel, basically. So Max Caster has lost a date, has been denied his booking from Beyond Wrestling. I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, it's weird because like I get it. I get what he said is like whatever. Oh man. I'm at a loss for words. That soured my whole mood. A great guy like Max who gets over with heel language. It's like, dude, you have to cancel everyone who makes... So tonight, they called women bitches tonight on the show. They called women bitches. They made fun of fat people. And all kinds of stuff. Well, maybe there are more people that die of heart disease and obesity in this country than anything. So why is that okay? But it's not okay to joke about the Duke team that allegedly didn't do anything wrong. And I think the Simone Biles joke might have actually really been the thing that was the problem more than anything, maybe. But I guess it was during that somebody said that AEW Dark was raising money for victims of sexual assaults. Someone said that to me. I could be wrong. That could be wrong. I don't know. They were like, it was really ill-timed because this was about raising money for sexual assault victims, and this guy made a joke about the Duke team. And I'm like, that's even funnier, isn't it? Like, he's a heel. He's at this show that's raising money for sexual victims, whatever, and he goes and says, yo, I'm going to treat that bitch like Duke Lacrosse. Like, I mean, that is insanely, like, it's so mean and ridiculous that it's hilarious, I feel like. But that's me. I don't know. Apparently that's not true. So this soured me all day. I've been angry about this all day because I knew that we were going to get somebody making fun of fat people tonight. I knew that we were going to get somebody making fun of women and calling people bitches, and that's what they do. So it's all just a big double standard of fake is what it is. Anyway, AEW did not have a very good show. So I felt part of that was karma bleeding over into this bullshit. I got to rewind my video here real quick because it deletes itself, my DVR. But so, it is what it is. I'm excited for AEW Dark. I'm excited for AEW Dynamite tonight, of course, like always. Excited about the show. Every Wednesday is usually really good. I'm really excited every Wednesday. Some people call me an AEW fanboy shill. So some people do say that I suck AEW's balls and that Tony Khan pays me to say good things about AEW. I wish that were true. That'd be nice to not worry about money. That'd be pretty cool. Chris Jericho comes out with his little Band-Aid over his head, which I enjoyed. He was in that war last week. Juventud Guerrero comes out, and it's exciting to see Juvi. I'm like, yeah, Juventud, baby, here he is. Holy shit, this is like a throwback to being a kid and flipping on WCW while waiting for WWE to come back from a commercial in 1998 or whatever. Then MJF comes out, gets on commentary. That's gold, pretty much. Several mistakes in the commentary, but it was just so funny because everyone just stuck to being what they were. JR called Juventud Jericho once by accident, and then MJF just understood what he was talking about and kept going with it, even though he could have said, that's Jericho, you moron. I'm talking about Juventud. JR, you old senile idiot or whatever, but he didn't do that. He just kind of understood what he was saying. I don't know. And then right after that, JR corrected MJF on something. MJF screwed up something, sort of, and Jericho called him on it, and it was just funny. JR called him on it, and I'm like, so that's funny because I wanted to call JR on what he said, but MJF got called on what he said. And then basically just nothing really was notable here other than the whole point of this match was to see that corkscrew Judas effect off the top rope, which, by the way, a few minutes later, Christian did it against somebody who didn't lose. So I thought that was funny. But again, people were complaining, oh, Christian did it like 2 fucking matches later or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but, he doesn't do it like Jericho. He just hit him with this back elbow type of thing. I guess, Jericho knows how to do the Judas effect. He's mastered it. That's why that's a finishing maneuver. But whatever. Jericho, it looked good. I enjoyed the ending. I like how he knocked him with it the first time. Then Aubrey was like, no, you can't win the match like that. Jericho goes up, dives off the top rope, and waffles him with that elbow. I thought that looked wonderful. So that was beautiful stuff to me. The match wasn't that. It just was whatever. It was like a 6 out of 10 thing. The point was to see Juventud, cool, and Jericho in the ring, cool. And then Jericho gets to hit that cool Judas effect off the top rope. So that was really cool. I've got bad allergies, man. I'm snotting all over myself. I've got snots everywhere. I think it's from working in the yard the other day all day. I'm assuming that's what it's from. Or I've got COVID. I don't know. We can only hope I pass away, though. Then Jericho, tried to rip the mask off at some point. But I don't know. I'd give the match like a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. I was excited enough. It was nice. It was nice. Like a thumbs up, nice, 6 out of 5. But then Wardlow comes in, and Wardlow is the final trial for Jericho. Which the only thing is, to me, at this point, it's sort of like, I like Wardlow. I do like Wardlow. But it just feels a little bit, I guess it feels weirdly underwhelming because they just did all this weird stuff. And now your final trial is Wardlow. It feels like somebody else, couldn't make an appearance or something like that. And I like Wardlow, but, whatever. 6 out of 10 is not bad, Hugh. That's not bad for that match with Juventud. What do you give it? An 8? What the hell? A 7 maybe? It's either 7 or a 6. I'll give it a 6.5. 6.5 is a thumbs up. That's like a thumbs up. It's good. Nice little opening. It's not bad. But then I'm underwhelmed by Wardlow being the guy hitting the F10. I like Wardlow, but I'm just like, okay. Wardlow. Nothing crazy, not a death match, not a somebody returning, not a, I don't know. I'm just oddly, kind of underwhelmed by that. So, yay for that, I suppose. And then, Thank
you, boys. We went through a lot of trouble to get.
Here's El Idolo.
Now, who do you think could have done that?
Hey, kids. Hey, niños. Where are my thank yous for the limousine last week?
I got limousines and turkeys and lobster and everything that everybody almost, I want to say most of the heels in AEW at this point constantly bring up how they have lobsters, heels, and suits and dinners, and they have the good stuff, join us. That's what a lot of people typically have been going to in AEW, which I get it. I like that too in a heel. It makes kind of sense, but...
Welcome to the dark side. We have cookies.
Right. Yeah, well, that was a CM Punk reference, right? So, I'm not a fan of this promo that they cut. I like that it's in English and Spanish. It's mixed. Guerrero, it's just more of this bogus stuff to me. I didn't care for it. So far, Andrade has been... boring. He's just boring at this point. So anyway, Jake, just to recap. Did you hear everything?
Yeah, I've been listening. I apologize for being late. Not a good day, but
what? I thought there was a baby born today.
I know. Yesterday the baby was born, 7 a.m. So excellent. Finally got to have them home and got to meet her today. So, but not personal good day. So I was looking forward to AEW, hoping it was going to be a good show, and unfortunately didn't snap me out of my mood. This was not a great night.
No, I was in a bad mood today. I'm mad at AEW too, so I'm gonna
out. That was part of the thing. They pulled a loose lip Lagana like they did with the NWA and Cornette. You put this up, you hosted it. It was filmed a week before, and I guess it was filmed at the show for Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen, where they raised the money for sexual assault victims. So I guess that is what people are saying, even though it wasn't directly the night raising money, but it was filmed then, to my understanding.
I'm going to play it every day. I might play that every show. I don't know.
The rap's hilarious. They've said, look at the stuff they said about Renee, and people laughed, and they've done this over and over and over again. They've made gay jokes. They've made, trans jokes, and they've bashed every topical thing from COVID to the president onward. It's happened. And Tony Khan obviously allowed this to go through. Then today, after they start getting this clapback of emotion on Twitter, suddenly Tony Khan's like, oh, that's revolting and that's disgusting and it shouldn't have been allowed. Motherfucker, you put it through. You laughed at it. You said it was a good idea.
I know. That's the biggest thing.
Me off.
That's the thing that really drives you nuts is Tony Khan being a pussy. I
didn't
know I was in the back.
I thought that was Janela's job, but Tony Khan backed down, and I want to like the guy, but we've seen this multiple times where immediately when something goes sour, he throws said person under the bus. He's done it multiple times now, and he just wipes his hands and he's like, "Oh, I'm done with it." And oh, that was disgusting. That's revolting. That shouldn't have happened. I had no part in this. And you sure backed away as fast as you could, huh?
Oh yeah, dude, this
And
guy,
then poor Max,
this guy's the worst.
bookings over this, and
yeah.
but they go out and they keep telling him, "Oh, be edgy, be funny, be over the top," and people are like, "Oh, this one crossed the line." Why? Because it relates to you somehow. But when they're joking about fat people because you're not fat, that's okay.
Yeah.
Or because you're white, those white jokes I did before, with or because the OJ thing is funny, that's okay to joke about. Or because you didn't have COVID, that's okay to joke about. Or. That's the thing. So when they said something that upset one person, that brought it to light, and it was the people that, again, A, don't like wrestling, B, don't really care, C, are just doing it for attention. They're the ones that get this limelight on the product because they go barking up the sponsor tree, and the sponsors, of course, have to answer. I mean, everything that I saw pretty much in the tags of the tweets was going after any sponsor involved with AEW.
Yeah, and you know what? You know who was really mad more than anybody about anything? Domino's was madder about the pizza cutter thing last week than anybody was really mad about this besides regular everyday scumbag SJWs on Twitter. I mean, Domino's was actually said something. You know, Tony Khan should have just said, you know, it got past me, or I didn't even think about it. I didn't realize it. It's my fault. You know, I approve everything. I'm the one to, you know, in the end that takes responsibility. You know, a lot of guys come up with a lot of things that we don't air, you know, and I never want to put down someone's suggestion because comedy is different for everybody. But the fact of the matter is, it's not necessarily something I'm happy we put out there, but it got put out there. And if you don't like it, I understand. But that being said, it was my fault. And, you know, sometimes that happens on live TV and in this business.
And what really sucks is
it.
Max Caster is probably one of the nicest guys backstage. Like, it's just a role.
Oh, you know?
Heel. Well, I mean, I've spoken to him twice on Twitter, but all the interactions and vlog stuff you see when they're not in character, you just, you know, he's not had a bad word about him. Everyone's, you know, spoken highly of both of them and said how nice and helpful and just, you know, kind they are. And then you get this shit and you're like, it's just a role. So if someone says something in a movie, and I think back to all the people, like if I said the N-word right now, you get canceled. But then I think back to Django Unchained, and you know, but that's a movie. So what's the difference? It's a role. It's a parody.
Well, Steve Austin, TV show. Well, Steve Austin called what's his face the N-word in that movie Longest Yard, but Steve Austin was acting.
Yeah,
he was acting as a character.
No one canceled him. But there you go. You know, there's so many instances of this is.
It's not just that he said the word, right? It's not that he said the word, because you can say the word as whatever. He, like, in the character in the show was like, "Does it bother you when I call you a?"
Yeah,
he said that.
You know,
like that's a guy acting. Like he's not really saying that. That's why we don't cancel. You know what I mean? Like, we don't think if Steve Austin in real life was going up to a guy calling him, saying that, you'd be like, is he working? What the hell's going on? You know, but it's like, if it's real, it's real. It's not real, it's not real. And that's the point. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and now Tony's like, oh, I was outside. I didn't hear it.
I was outside.
He approves the lines, and everything has to go through Tony. And even if he didn't hear a damn thing, guess what? It's still your fault because it's your show.
But really, if I was Tony Khan, I would have said, well, you know, we were raising awareness for the victims, and, you know, I think a lot of people heard that line and looked up what that meant, and potentially that could raise more awareness. So fuck off. That's what I would have said if I was the owner of AEW. I mean, we need Dana White in charge of shit at this point.
Well, you need that.
But he's a scumbag.
And ripping up the papers and slapping them out of, you know, the reporter's hands.
Yeah.
That's what we need from Tony, and instead he every time. Back down, Khan.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought that was Janela's job, like I said, but
I couldn't believe they got rid of it already. I can't believe the people that are DMing me about how Max is a great guy. Thanks for saying something. I'm talking about...
I've told you, people are outspoken
wrestlers.
About how nice he is.
Wrestlers. You're right. I'm getting it right now. I'm telling you right now, and I'm not going to say who they are because I don't want to make... I don't know if they're worried.
No, I've heard from a couple people, too, today, and one person that I spoke to is so upset backstage at AEW that this happened because now, as somebody just said before, I think it was Soundwave, like, oh, watch, they'll be relegated to catering. Yeah, pretty much. They can't be seen on TV now, and they were barely used on anything but Dark as is. So forget it.
Enzo and Cass was great. They got destroyed, and now these guys are fun and entertaining. And are they destroyed? I can't, dude. Beyond Wrestling literally canceled them. Like,
I know he got replaced by Yuta in that match. So
by the way, I hate Beyond Wrestling, and I hope someone from that piece of shit company watches. I've reached out to them before. They were cunts. They were assholes. Why have you never seen Joe Cronin at a Beyond Wrestling show? That's why. They're just fucking silly idiots. They're the ones that do all this goofy shit. Like, they love Orange Cassidy kicking people in the heels and doing all this dumb buffoonery shit. Like, so that's Beyond Wrestling. I fucking hate that company, I think. I mean, I get, they seem like assholes. This confirmed it. For years, I've thought, man, I feel like Beyond are a bunch of asshole idiots. And this has confirmed it for me. They are from, like, the inner city Massachusetts, the people that don't really like wrestling, but like the entertainment of whatever this weird shit is. Like, they'd enjoy a guy wrestling a broom or like doing magic with his hands in the ring or weird shit like that. They love that stuff. They're basically like, what's that other weird company, more Midwestern, where we have weird characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it, but
they're PWG, but the other one there.
They're more respectful, but it's something. God, I can't think of it.
There's so many federations and names and factions.
Chikara. It's Chikara. That's what I'm thinking.
Chikara. There you go. And they just got broken up anyways. So.
Yeah, they're done for.
Cody versus MALAKAI at All Out. No retirement, relax.
Yeah, Alex Oli. Thank you, man. Yeah, it was.
Even if it doesn't happen at All Out, this is the same thing last time you brought it up. Cody went ahead and he got destroyed as Brody Lee came in, taking out the TNT champion, and that's basically when Cody came back. Cody had the dark hair instead, and he said he had to be like a darker version of himself, but he went away to go film Go Big Show. Same thing this time.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Turkeys hate us? What if they fillet us?
Yeah, didn't he also say he was going to retire last time? That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, like or one time he did the same thing and he got hit. Oh, I'm back, I guess. Pretend I didn't do that.
Yeah, and he ignored
What
it.
if they fillet
It's the Soundwave 92!
The turkeys hate us. If they had to hate us.
Yeah, Booker T.
Thanksgiving was a little bit different. Instead, the turkeys ate us. They gobbled us apart. But first they'd eat our nuts, and then they'd eat our butts. The turkeys ate us. What if the turkeys ate us? What if the turkeys...
The Soundwave 92. I'm going to buy groceries tomorrow, son. Yeah.
What if they ate our fucking nuts? What if the turkeys ate us instead of mashed potatoes? Instead the turkeys ate us.
I love the turkeys, baby. I'm wearing my turkey shirt right now.
Fairly mediocre show 6/10. First half was about 5/10 for me, then the last match got me to pop because it was booked perfectly. Malakai looked flawless in this match, and Cody likely is taking some time off TV after this. He never took both his boots off.
Yep, he didn't take both of them off again, and 6 weeks to film the Wet and Wild show, or whatever the fuck
the
it
Go
is.
Big Show.
Go Big Show, Jake. Go Big.
Season 2. And happy birthday, Ryan the Heel. Hell yeah. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday to our favorite sexual chocolate out there. And do you want to name? Can you name all the Easter eggs on that tweet that guy put out earlier?
I mean, they're really going for it, I guess.
I mean, we got Ric Flair in the back, who's coming in.
Yeah, Cookie Monster, CM.
Now, which one's
obviously,
Daniel
CM
Bryan?
Punk. I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, we got Ric Flair in the back right. He's coming, right? We got Cookie Monster,
Yep.
CM Punk. And then we got who's in, like, is Bray Wyatt is the Young Buck?
I think Bray Wyatt was supposed to be the Hawaiian shirt.
This is Bray Wyatt right here. Like Matt
Yeah.
Matt or Nick, I forget. That's Matt, right?
Yeah, it's
I don't remember. No, it's Nick.
No, that's Matt. That's Matt.
No, that is
I
Matt.
believe
Yeah, it
you're
is
right.
Matt. So he's on the right with the
God damn it, they got to stop both having facial hair.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah. He's more of the douchey one.
Oh, and Cody got engaged. Hell yeah, there better be a celebratory porno.
Wait a minute, they're not married?
No, I thought the same thing.
What are you talking about? They're both Brandy and Cody Rhodes.
No, not them. Cody Mastro.
Oh, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? They're
I'm
married
reading
like a
from the
long
chat.
time
Yeah,
ago.
not Cody Rhodes. Cody Mastro. He's a happy
Yes,
engagement.
congrats to Janelle. So like they're gonna have sex and make a Joe Cronin show porno.
That's why I said there better be a celebratory porn in the works here. Congratulations, Cody.
So here is Bray Wyatt, CM
Yeah,
Punk,
that's got to be Bray.
and we got Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And is the other Jackson just like also Bray Wyatt? Like
I because they're both doing the Hawaiian shirt thing. I don't know. I'm waiting for Cookie Monster is just CM because they're doing, Cookie Monster, CM Punk.
Well,
That's just the CM. That's
CM
all.
Punk once said that it meant Cookie Monster,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah, because
CM
it's supposed to be Chick Magnet Punk, and
Right.
people always said, "What is it for?" And he said the CM is for Cookie Monster.
right. Yeah, so like there's those three. We see those three. So what are the other ones? That's what I'm wondering. So they're being goofs, trolling about, the upcoming arrivals potentially, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I was looking for Daniel Bryan. I was like, okay, is someone, which one's Daniel Bryan maybe? Couldn't solve that one, but interesting stuff there from them. And then on top of that, and I will say that, let's hit the donos one more time. Shit bomb!
You become
Alex Oley, what's up, man?
bomb.
Max was one of Bobby Lashley's sisters, had it coming.
Max was one of Bobby Lashley's sisters. Had it coming. Wow.
That is funny because it's so true.
Oh, my God.
Carl Anderson has the NWO colors. Maybe Scott Hall. Maybe Alex. I mean, anything is possible. Yeah, I heard that Punk is, definitely signed. They're still working on something with Daniel Bryan. I keep hearing so much back and forth. It's crazy. Every day is a new tale.
Yeah, every day is something else, man. Hoovy looking good, though, man. Good to see Hoovy looking
You
good.
know who is?
Don't mind if
you
I
know.
do.
We'll
One
find
more.
out in a
What's
second.
my name? Duncachino. It's a whole new game.
Yeah.
Duncachino. You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Yeah.
Are you appealing to the woke jihadis will not help them grow as a company? When you try to appeal to everyone, you end up appealing to no one.
100% Piston Honda 87. Take a look at Boogie 2988's channel, and you'll know that that's true. And even sometimes, I can make the mistake of trying to do that. But look at anybody whose shit goes out of control. It's them trying to do too much of everything. Focus on one thing and kick its ass. That's the thing to do. And that's what AEW was doing. Coincidentally, they had their worst moment in a while today when they suspended or when they deleted the Max Caster thing and then looked really bad.
Yeah, I mean, not only just deleted it, but like Khan went on Busted Open Radio to completely denounce Max Caster and throw him under the bus. As we said before, he's like, "Oh, I wasn't there. I was outside. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it till it aired. And from now on, I'm going to be in charge of editing AEW Dark and Dark Elevation going forward."
I'll be honest. He actually, all right. So I don't think he really 100% threw him under the bus, but because he didn't go, that's Max's fault or Max should have known better. He didn't do that. So that would have been throwing him under the bus. I think
he said the thing was despicable and tasteless. Yeah.
I heard him say like he didn't like it. He said it was terrible.
Despicable was the adjective I had heard.
So I don't know. Like, I think he threw whoever runs Dark under the bus, too. Like, but they didn't name a name, so he didn't throw anybody. But what he did do is basically say, yeah, they're incompetent. Now I've got to do it. That's basically what he said is, okay, they're dumb. Now I have to run AEW Dark, which I still don't believe. I believe he's going to sit in a room with the people that are going to be running it and saying, this better never happen. Here's the things you can't do. And
yeah, exactly.
Like, I guess, I get Tony Khan. I get if he had come out and denounced it in a way, but it's just the way, it just feels gross. I feel disgusting. And not because he made a rape joke, which is funny because some other people would feel disgusting that he made a rape joke. I don't feel disgusting that he made a rape joke because he's a heel and a bad guy in wrestling. I'm not a pussy, so I just don't feel bad. And other people be like, oh, well, what if your family member? Yeah, what if your family member had cancer? What if your family member was overweight and had obesity problems or fat shaming issues or psychological mental issues or whatever down the list? It never ends then. Then there is no show. There is no making fun of anybody's anything then. You can't do it.
If you pass one line, then every line is completely, too far to cross. So once there's a limit, then everything is that limit. Because there's always going to be someone offended. There's always going to be someone outraged because it's always going to be relatable somehow. It has to be viewed as entertainment. It's a soap opera, fine. It's a drama. It's however you want to view it, but it is not how, it needs to be looked at.
And the Duke guys were innocent. They were proven innocent, apparently. That's the other funny thing.
I don't even remember all the details with that. That's not even.
They're innocent. I know. It's just funny. But the joke didn't even make sense because it was like, well, how could you treat them bitches like the Duke lacrosse team? But maybe he meant I'll do you wrong like the lacrosse team. So maybe it wasn't even a rape joke. Maybe it was like he said something, I'll treat you like bitches or something like Duke lacrosse. So maybe he meant he was gonna accuse them of something they didn't do. I don't know.
No kidding.
I don't know. It's just. It's weird, and I get it. It is weird on a show about the whatever. Nobody likes real rape. Nobody likes actual people that are raping people, and stuff. Nobody likes that. Nobody thinks Brock Turner's a good person. This guy's a piece of shit, right? And anybody else who's a rapist and whatever else. But this isn't real life. We're in wrestling, and this guy's cutting heel promo. Now, I get also if Tony Khan had just come on and said, it's a mistake. It's not. We have a lot of things that we'll allow on our show, and we're not PG. By no means are we PG, but that was something we felt was over the line, and we didn't enjoy that being put out on TV. That's my call and my mistake for not catching it. And we'll deal with it how we have to deal with it in house. A lot of different changes being made, and going forward, we hope we can we can catch that the next time. And that's all he had to say. If he just said that, he was like, listen, yeah, that's a little over the line with what we want to be doing, especially at an event like that. We can see it looks wrong, whatever. That's all you have to say. It's all the other weirdness about it that made it way worse. And I just can't believe Max Caster is being denied bookings and being kicked off of other bookings. So companies just can't wait to virtue signal and witch hunt. It's so ridiculously gross to me that people do this to people with their everyday lives and in their business. It's not like the guy, I would say what Sammy Guevara said was worse, but that was 5 years ago. So it's all this stuff is off the map. 5 years ago, Sammy Guevara said, damn, Sasha Banks is I raped the shit out of her. 5 years ago, he said something like that, which was meant to be she's so hot. That's what it means. But it's weird, and I don't know. I get it's a weird comment. It's a little bizarre. It's trying to be funny on Baldy's show. But that was 5 years ago. So I'd say, listen, I don't know, man. The guy said that 5 years ago. People, we never heard it. We talked to him backstage. This isn't who he is now. He understands what he said was wrong and gross, and we talked to the whole locker room about it. And, we denounced something like that being said, and he's been apologizing, and so he'll have to deal with that, and that's about it. But instead, they suspended a guy for something he said 5 years ago, right now. So that was weird to me. But now Max Caster comes out, says something that he thinks works out, and then in the end, they say it's oh, that's not what we wanted, and Max Caster now loses bookings. It just
weird. Sucks.
So you can't even try to be the heel character. You can't even be The Rock. Remember The Rock? You can't be The Rock. You're looking at The Rock strudel, you look like a WHORE. You know what that spells? That's right, forgot The Rock. You missed high school. The Rock says that means whore. And that's exactly what it is. So hit the streets, you douchebag bitch. It's The Rock. You're dude, you couldn't do that now. You couldn't do anything The Rock said. You want the piece of the people's strudel? Is that what you're looking at? I see you looking at The Rock strudel. Awfully rapey tonight, wasn't The Rock? Well, that's really funny talking to women like that. Blah, 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 blah. Dude, just go fuck yourself.
When Stone Cold was stunning Linda and, Stephanie.
Hey, remember when Stone Cold...
That was hilarious.
Remember when Stone Cold actually hit Deborah in real life?
That was hilarious, too.
That was really funny.
That he knocked her out, right?
That was funny.
And apparently you are 100% vindicated and right about the Duke lacrosse stuff. In every aspect, they were found innocent. So that was just double checked and reported by Drew. So.
How ironic is that? How funny.
You know, so the whole thing doesn't even really make sense. And it's just
it's the idea of it. I get it.
Stupid joke. You know, I get the idea of the joke. And Bray Wyatt commented on somebody's Instagram recently. Basically, the comment was then removed. I don't know if it was reposted elsewhere, but the gist of his comment, I'm trying to remember it verbatim, but this does go connect to AEW. So was something like, you know, they say you're ruined. They say you suck. They say you're no longer good. And he was basically talking about all of the negative tweets that came at him. And apparently the word is backstage, he got very defensive about The Fiend because that was his gimmick. And he became labeled difficult to work with, Joe, because he didn't want to, and he didn't care about losing. That wasn't the issue. And we know that for a fact because look at his entire WWE career. He lost all the times he shouldn't have against Cena, against Undertaker, against, you know, you name it. Randy Orton. He's lost more times than he ever should have. And he's never had an issue with putting people over. So we know that's not Bray Wyatt being difficult, but this was his idea. He planned The Fiend out so far in advance in that story that he was dropping hints 3 years ago in promos. You had to take one line from each promo for like 10 weeks and put them together to get the story of The Fiend. That's how like intense he is in his mind with the story. So he had a mental breakdown when Luke Harper passed away, allegedly.
And we know Vince hates this stuff, this long-term thought-out booking stuff.
Vince doesn't. Yeah, that is very true. That's not something Vince wants to hear now. And that's why Vince kept changing things. So when Vince changed the Mania win to Randy Orton then winning the day of WrestleMania, that made allegedly Bray snap. That, along with all of the hate online coming towards Bray of you suck now, you're wasted, they ruined you, you need to go to AEW. He just had a full-on breakdown.
Wow.
And if that's true, it seems like it lines up with all of the mental health stuff we heard. And he was also really having a hard time dealing with Brody's passing. It makes perfect sense to me. So his comment saying, like, you know, they ruined you, they, you know, all of that, he was saying, I love my family. I love you, JoJo. I love you, Mom. I love you, my kids. Without you, I wouldn't still be here. Watch what you say online because the next time you say something, it could end a person's life. And thank you, Mom, for that, for your keeping me still here because I almost lost mine. So basically, it sounds like he almost committed suicide over all of this.
So we were right in that whole idea that he left for mental health.
Yes.
Everybody was right reporting that. We were right for I don't think we were right because we're not the ones that broke that news. Other people broke that news.
No, but
we basically accepted that like that. We feel like that was the deal. We felt it.
And they kept changing plans with The Fiend, and he became difficult with the writers, allegedly. And this is coming from one of the writers that, you know, leaked several other things. So I do believe what's being said to be true there.
Yeah, I would believe it if it was real.
They were saying that he became difficult because he no longer wanted the Fiend to be transitioned with the story, but they were making it more about Alexa, and he didn't care about including Alexa, but the way they were going to just transfer over everything, he kind of saw this coming, and the writing was on the wall, and he knows they had the trademark for the Fiend and him, but they could make their own trademark for Alexa, and once they did that, they own all the rights. Let's write Bray off.
So he's Simone. He's Simone Bile or whatever. What's her name?
Biles.
Right. Oh, Bile, like bile coming out of your throat. Yeah, Simone, baby. He's Bray. Drew just said it in the chat, and I was thinking it earlier. He's the Simone, but he's a big, fat-looking, hick white guy, so nobody cares about his mental health.
All three nailed it, actually.
Nobody cares about his mental health. I've got mental health problems today. I've been a psycho. I'm out of my mind. I'm ready to watch the world burn at this point. I'm serious.
I've spent my day entirely in tears, so I could probably cry at the drop of a pin right now. I feel you. It's been a shit day. So the reason this connects to AEW is because now on Instagram after that comment, who's he following? Tony Khan.
No. And is he?
I mean, we kind of knew it was a done deal, but
does he get a 90-day?
We no don't compete? No. I've heard yes, I've heard no, but everything is so uncertain nowadays. I can't say for sure.
Let's take it back to AEW. No, go ahead.
Well, that was my point with him coming.
This show was hollow tonight. This show was not good tonight.
Well, how are we supposed to care about Hangman now that they derailed Hangman to get CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in the door?
Right.
WWE is already worried about SummerSlam being canceled at this point. There's a mask mandate that has to happen, so everyone there has to wear masks.
I'm hearing it's going to be okay from everybody. It's going to be all right.
I'm thinking it'll still happen. It won't get canceled, but basically we're going to get into, what else are we going to get? At least AEW can go to Daly's place. They still have that option, as we saw tonight. Although I think the crowd isn't as hyped because they've been through so much. We saw better reactions weeks prior. But how are we supposed to care about Hangman? That segment was very odd, and I didn't really care for any part of that tonight.
Nope.
I get what they're going for here, but it just was not entertaining to me. First, we get this backstage thing. We get the CM Punk, Cookie Monster T-shirt, and they're all playing basketball, and they were counting, and they're doing the spins on Carl Gallows, Machine Gun's finger, and they're going through all this stuff. Carl Anderson, excuse me. And they're talking about, Dark Order, you want to go for the Impact Tag Team titles? You're welcome to the challenge. And Young Buck says there's no tag teams left. They beat everybody in the division. And then Omega says, Hangman, you choked again. And he makes 2 baskets before then. And then on the third one, he misses, saying that's you, basically. And then they cut down the net because they're champions. So I like the Toon Squad joke entrance last week, but for them keeping up with this basketball shit does not entertain me at all whatsoever. I thought this was again, they're being obnoxious, so they're not cheered, but this was very cringy and stupid. So mission accomplished.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like it. Yeah, I didn't like this. I didn't like almost anything at this point. I like Jericho's elbow off the top rope. That was fun. Seeing Hooven too was fun for a second. And
it was okay. I mean, Hoovy looked great. The Juice, for not wrestling in so long, looked fantastic. And that was entertaining in that regard. But I guess the top rope elbow spinning Judas effect was kind of cool, but
that was the best part because it was like,
cool. I mean, we knew the whatever the aerial maneuver was going to be good, but there was one point where they almost killed each other before too, which was whew.
Oh, the off the top rope like Hurricanrana that was blocked, or Frankenstein, whatever it was.
And this was the third labor match, but this should have been the first. It felt like, because the chair match was more intense than this, and then next week we're getting Wardlow, and then we have one more for the 5th, and then we get MJF if he gets through the 5th.
Oh, really? I thought MJF was the 5th.
Because there's 5 labors to get through to get
I thought
to
the
MJF.
5th labor was MJF.
That's what I originally thought.
I thought they said
but the
that
way
tonight.
Somebody else explained that on Twitter.
Oh, okay. I thought they said that tonight. I thought they said, and then after Wardlow, the 5th labor will be MJF. I thought they said that tonight.
That's what I thought, but I was confused because then on Twitter they said he has the 5th, and then he gets to MJF. So
we'll have to listen to it again. I mean, I swear, someone in the chat can confirm this.
Yeah, someone's got to confirm this. But
I swear
that was weird
because I went like, "Oh, really? Fuck!" I thought there was going to be another 2 things that go down, and when they said Wardlow, I was like, "That's it? Wardlow's the 4th?" And you're right. The hardcore match should have been the last thing. Like, the last thing he had to go through should have been the hardcore match. But I'm not complaining because the hardcore match was fucking awesomely fun to watch. Like,
it was very enjoyable, but that's the problem because this match wasn't nearly enjoyable. Okay, they did say that. He is the 5th. MJF is the 5th.
I'm not retarded.
He is the 5th labor. All right, because that's what I was confused
So there's
on.
just
The way
Wardlow.
they worded the tweet, it made it sound like he had to get through one more.
Yeah, it's just
But
Wardlow's left.
I guess, yeah, so Wardlow is the 4th. So this should be the surprise of Nick Gage here.
Yeah.
This should have been, going back to Wardlow and back to the Pinnacle feels like a step backwards. And then we're just going to MJF. And obviously MJF is the special guest referee. So how is Jericho going to get through this? We'll have to see. But this is definitely the goodbye Jericho tour, it feels like.
What do you mean? Oh.
It seems like he'll be taking time off when this is all done.
Oh, okay.
That seems to be the case. Yeah, I guess that was a small plan tentatively, but it seems to be what they're doing because they're going through like all of the big versions of Jericho, the Cruiserweight, the Painmaker. They're highlighting everything with him with these labors. So kind of feels like a best of tour.
The Wardlow one's got to be like some kind of version of the Y2J Jericho, right? Or like the List Jericho or something like that. Like
we'll see. Yeah, there's got to be something there.
Yeah,
it feels that way.
It makes sense too if they have some big names coming in. The Jericho can be like, he may feel like this is my time that I can rest for a little bit because we've got people that are going to come in here and be able to carry this. I don't need to be this big name here because for a lot of people, he's the big name reason they come. I know a lot of people would watch all these guys wrestle and everybody on the card. But there are, a couple 100,000 people that, they're just like, I got to see Jericho. There's people that are just marked for Jericho. But I think most people...
Because we know Jericho has this big Fozzy tour coming up in September, but we don't know definitely. He's had tours before where he hasn't taken time off AEW, so nothing is ever certain. But
we thought Moxley was going to be gone for like months. He hasn't left at all.
Yeah, he went away for
not
2
correct.
weeks, and that was it. So he was supposed to be gone longer, and he didn't decide to leave.
Yeah, we don't know why.
You know what it was? He was home with his kid for 2 weeks, and he's like, "Yep, I'd rather get hit with a trash can."
Yep, I'm gonna get out of this. This was really cool.
I'm
Renee.
gonna go blade a bunch.
You enjoy that poo and stuff, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you. Yeah.
So
you go call CM Punk, have him come over here and lick you, and I'll be out. Wrestling.
Exactly. They got unfinished business with the Shield. So Jeff Parker, Matt Lee, and Daniel Garcia. It's Everrise coming in here as 2.0.
Kareem Garcia. I'm sorry, nobody knows what I'm talking about. Go ahead. I'm talking about I'm referencing a fucking press conference from Pedro Martinez from 2003. Nobody knows what I'm doing right now. I'm sorry.
Hey, they're loving it. It's all that matters.
That is so funny. I just realized I'm like,
we got jokes on jokes, don't you worry.
I got jokes about shit no one outside of New England and New York knows what I'm talking about. From like 20 years ago. My God, that's too funny. Like there's like 5 people that know what I was just talking about.
Maybe 6, maybe. Yeah, the 2.0 theme was interesting, but Everrise, all right, I'm glad they're hired. I'm glad they got a job after being released from NXT. That's good. I don't want to see anybody, but it was just a very random thrown together match. You had Moxley and Eddie with Darby all of a sudden. I get it. They're all faces, but it was just an odd pairing. And then, Daniel with 2.0, the whole thing was underwhelming as a match too. It sucks for these guys to come in and then be beaten by the hardest hitting people in AEW, I think possible. Darby Allin, we know, pulls no punches. He lands as hard as he can with everything. Of his every pound he has, he hits you with, and he makes it count. And Eddie and Moxley, we know, just completely level in every time they can. Whatever punch they can throw, they're going to make it look, even a stare down hurts against Eddie. So sorry, but it's the truth, it seems. They beat the hell out of these guys. And I guess the paradigm shift now is the suplex version, and the Death Rider is the one that drives the head into the mat.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's 2? Yeah, because I've heard both. I'm like, wait, what are we talking about here? And
because every time he's done the paradigm shift, it's like this up and over thing now. It's like a suplex DDT. I thought he was just doing it oddly, but people were on Twitter were saying, no, now he's doing the plant one as the Death Rider in New Japan, and the up and over one is the paradigm shift.
Apparently everybody remembers the Kareem Garcia thing.
So, hey, 7 people. There you go.
More than 7 people. Basically, Kareem Garcia got thrown at in a baseball game, and Pedro Martinez, in an interview, they were like, you meant Kareem Garcia blames you, whatever. And Pedro's like, why would I throw at Kareem Garcia? Who is Kareem Garcia? He was like, why would I throw at this fucking shit bum in the press conference? And it was fucking hilarious. Pedro was like, why would I throw at Kareem Garcia? Who is Kareem Garcia? He threw at his head, like it looked like.
It was funny
and
too,
was like,
because it was intentional, but then he's like, oh, who is he? He doesn't have enough clout to be, even paid attention to.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. I love Pedro.
So I know I'm people like, I'm
oh
not
my
crazy
God,
to
Christian!
begin about...
Jake, I'm watching the replay. Christian just hit the Judas effect on the Butcher. Or the
the
blade.
flying one.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
The flying Judas effect. I mean, it is the exact same move. He doesn't do it as clean as Jericho does in the sense of like.
He just shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have done
it.
He should have been like, all right,
that
finished that match. I'm not going to fucking bury everybody. And then he did. I actually, my eyeballs almost popped out of my head when I saw it. I went, I can't believe Christian just did that.
And the funny thing is, I like the Blade as a wrestler. I've actually, when they came into AEW, the Butcher, the Blade, we had no idea who they were. I looked into their matches, and they actually have some impressive work. We haven't seen much of that in AEW. The Blade is better than the Butcher, so I'm glad he's getting a chance to shine. This was a really good match. I like this match. The only thing I wish had happened was I wish that when Christian went for the spear at the end, I wish that he hit him in the head with the brass knuckles at the same time so that Christian passed out on top of the Blade and won the match, but he was unconscious.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
So this way they could keep the story going, and it's still a win for Christian, but he was unconscious, and the Blade then pushes him off of him and can celebrate, and you could see Christian start bleeding or whatever. I think that would have been a better story here than just beating him clean, because now it just makes another person of the Hardy family office, whatever, look like shit. The Blade is done for. He lost clean. Christian is still undefeated, so he's making a promise to go against the Elite, which is all well and good, but I don't really have much of an interest past the one match of him and Kenny, and he's not going to win. So,
yeah. So this match to me was another just like whatever, nice little match, nothing really that great. And Jake, I'll just say it was whatever. I didn't care that much for it. It was a filler, typical Christian to me. I find him boring. I find Christian boring.
He's got a style and he sticks to it. It is very straightforward, and that's what you get.
Right. I like him for
good.
Yeah,
but it's just like I feel like I'm playing a video game version of Christian.
Yeah.
Like an AI version, essentially. Like, I know what's going to come up. All right, here we go. We're going to get the sunset flip. Then the back elbow's coming. Then he's going to tease the kill switch. He won't get it yet, though, because he's going to get, hit a couple of times and a few near falls. Oh, and then he'll get the spear, and then he'll get the pinfall. Like, what's coming when, because he does it so often. There's no real variation in his repertoire. So it's the same over and over, I feel like.
People want me to address the someone just sent me a picture with me and Kareem Garcia in the picture. We have to address the elephant in the room, and that is Booker T pretending he doesn't know who I am, which was hilarious.
Yeah, he's saying Joe Rogan.
Well, he may not know. I mean, but he has met me several times, but he may not know. But apparently someone donated to him earlier today, and they spelled things wrong too, by the way, but here it is.
Absolutely, and we have another one here.
Actually, the guy who's talking, Booker T's sidekick guy, I've put over that guy as a commentator and his partner several times in Booker T's promotion, and it's funny what happens.
From Superchat.
Ripped off my fucking Super Chat thing.
Red Comet Man. Booker, you should hop Joe Cronin's show. Okay. Joe Rogan? Not exactly sure. Maybe Joe Rogan? Okay. Cronin. Not sure who Joe Cronin is.
I don't know who Joe Cronin is, but if he got a spot I can take, I would damn sure take it.
I got a spot you can take, Booker. You can take Jake's spot. You want to take Jake's spot?
Right here.
Hit me up, Booker. Now, Booker, I did tweet him and said, I got a spot for you. Come on in here. Let's go. So, I always get this. I hate Joe. I literally hate Joe Rogan. I hate Joe Rogan. And people will say things like, well, Joe Rogan's been doing this forever, so what do you mean you weren't mad at him 6 years ago, 7 years ago? Yeah, he wasn't that big then. When I started this channel, Joe Rogan was not some huge thing. Joe Rogan was just starting out, starting to get big kind of. And I was like, if I had known this, I probably would have used my real name. Now, I did use a different name because I thought I'm going to be a bit of a character maybe, I don't know. And so that way I can make sure I'm a character sometimes and I'm not Dan, So, but part of me now wishes I was Dan because then there wouldn't be this confusion. But now Joe Rogan, Joe Cronin, it sounds very similar, and now I get this all the time. And if you tell,
just like Jake's not my real name.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people, listen, I mean, if you were Ernest, like your real name is, like maybe, oops. Oh. Well, or Matt, or
Steve.
Let's go, Steve, Bill. Oh, let's go to the
Henry.
donations. Let's go to the donations. Woo.
Your voice sounds good after the rant this afternoon.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling is dead. Sports entertainment is not entertaining. Being offended is more profitable than gaining casual fans.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Mickey K9. And yeah, I exploded today. And I appreciate you guys all listening to me. Now, I buried every politics thing I could. I buried the left, right, center. I buried everything earlier today. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me, even if you didn't agree with me, and even if you thought I was a psycho tinfoil nutcase.
You did go off hilariously, but you were so right. And it reminded me, too, of a tweet we saw recently about the Mount Rushmore of, and anything happens, let me make it about myself with all the females.
With all the women?
And I was like, oh, God, that was spot on.
Normally,
hilarious,
I wouldn't tweet that. I almost, and I'll be honest, I almost didn't tweet it, but I looked and I saw that Maria Kanellis had unfollowed me. And she doesn't follow me anymore. And I used to think when she did follow me, I used to be like, and I know that I've always been cool with her and Mike, but I got to be honest. I like Maria and I like Mike, but they are psycho SJWs. Like, they are, whoa. Like, they are out there.
They're very woke.
So
and,
I was surprised that they had anything to do with me at that point. And I saw that she unfollowed me, and I was like, oh, fuck, she doesn't follow me anymore. Fuck it. So I said, like, out of respect of her, like, I was like, I'm not going to tweet this out. And then when I saw, oh, she doesn't follow me anymore, well, fuck it. And I tweeted
never
it
mind
out.
then.
Yeah. Oh, well, fuck it. Just, like, let me make something about myself. By the way, Chelsea.
I like how Rhonda kept getting asked about all this stuff, and she just clapped back the truth. She's like, the fans have shit all over Bray for months, saying that he's ruined and all these things, and no one supported him, and I was like, well, I kind of understand that sentiment. As we've been saying, he's ruined because of creative. It's not him, but it's hard to differentiate those feelings. I get that. But Rhonda went ahead and really just went off on everybody possible. And, I don't know. Like I said, I partially agree with some of it, but.
Oh, no, see, that's the thing about Rhonda, and I flipped out on it earlier today, but
yeah,
she's right. It's just what she doesn't understand is it's not that the fans are hypocrites. It's literally they're bored because the product sucks. Like, so that's what she doesn't understand. She thinks it's, oh, the fans are hypocrites. Gotcha. But that's not what it is, Rhonda. So that's basically what I was getting at, which was like, yo, Rhonda is in a way right because of how she's looking at it, but she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand that that's not the way the fans are looking, that's not what's going on here. If that was the case, then you could call them hypocrites and it would all make sense. But that's not what's up. So
yeah, because she is right. The fans were chanting, "We want beach balls" when he was performing, but that was before the Fiend, and that's when people were tired of the whole, same gimmick from him over and over again. We got not even the cult leader thing; it was like the leftover of him and Hardy.
Right. Yeah, she's had enough with the fans clearly because she's just dying to call out the fans. She
does this all the time though, and she's not wrong all the time, but she keeps doing that hashtag kayfabe killer thing over and over.
Well, and maybe that's part of her thing is whatever. I like that she's fucking with people, though. I will say that. I like her. I like Rhonda. Rhonda was one of the most exciting people in the company the last 10 years.
She was great when she was there, but she keeps calling pro wrestling fake fights for fun. That's not great.
That's not a good idea either. Well, she's also
She's
stupid.
like, because you guys have never been in a real fight. And I'm like, I get it, the MMA background, but still...
Well, her tits have never... her tits have never been in a real bra, so what the fuck? But, whatever. Let's play a donation.
Duncachino?
Don't mind if I do. What's my name? Duncachino. It's a whole new game. Duncachino. You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Hamey D. Welch and JCS Footrub repursed you at Booker T broadcast and he said he would take your spot.
Red Comet Man, thank you so much for the $5, man. Wait, you guys said more to Booker T? What the hell else did you say?
D. Welch said he just sent you part 2.
Oh, no, let me go take a look.
Yeah, I'm just going to say real quick, Red Comet Man says he's not Joe Rogan, he's a YouTuber that covers pro wrestling. And then we had Clorox Bleach that said, with all due respect, Hardy's best tag team of all time. Okay.
You know what? I like the Hardys. But I'm going to tell you, if they would have walked down 110th Street, we'd have...
Oh, that's the second part. That was it. I mean, listen, thank you guys for messaging Booker T. Booker T was actually there when I got chewed out by Bully Ray that time. When Bully Ray flipped out on me, Booker T was there and saw that. Proud and Powerful or whatever, they had a great promo after that crappy match with Christian.
I'm glad they showed the hook catch too.
That is my that promo. This promo where you're looking at right now, that's my favorite thing of the night besides the main event. What else was better? This was my favorite thing.
Nothing. I didn't. I wish Red Velvet wasn't the one to answer that promo.
Well,
that doesn't really excite me for All Out. That's what it's going to lead up to. Those two.
I don't.
I know Red Velvet. You know, I'm up 7 wins in a row. Yeah, on No Names, on Dark.
Yeah,
we haven't seen you in months until you're needed, and that's the problem with the women's division. They're all interchangeable. As soon as you need somebody, they pull them up from obscurity, and then you see no one else forever. They're building Layla Hirsch, but for the NWA title, they're not building anyone for their own women's title. They just send people out there every time. Oh, let's send Nyla back out. Oh, let's send Sheeta out to win it. Oh, look, let's send Riho out. Oh, now it's time to send Red Velvet out.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't mind this one, really.
I mean, but there's not even really a story. She just got out there because she wants to challenge her, and I don't view her as a credible threat right now. Or excuse me, it's for next Friday's Rampage, not All Out. Yeah, in Pittsburgh. I'm confusing the two because it's a big deal in my mind.
Doesn't Britt have a wrist issue too?
Yeah, she still is recovering from the Nia Jax type mugging.
It doesn't bother me because it's like, she comes out and she goes, I want to challenge, and then they're going to have the match next week on Rampage. So it's like, that, I didn't mind that. I didn't really mind that. Because it's like, okay, we needed something else for that show.
Yeah,
so,
it's not the biggest deal in the world, but that's the problem with the women's division to me. It's a minor gripe. It's just the point that instead of building something up big for
I don't mind
if
you have but can you put someone better in that position?
What I meant to say is instead of building up someone for All Out, they're focusing on Rampage. And I get that because that's the new show.
When's All Out, though?
It's September 5th. So it's
plenty of time then.
It's still approaching
because otherwise,
Jake,
otherwise it's WWE. 4 or 5 weeks of this shit until the show.
No, but who could challenge right now?
Jade.
Is my point.
Jade's
going to be wrestling on Elevation. So
what the hell is that?
The YouTube show. Yeah, D. Welsh is right. Her first match is next week on Elevation. Since she came back.
But it's not. I mean, but who should face Britt Baker then?
That's what I'm saying. That's the issue here. That's what I'm trying to bring up. I wish they were building somebody instead of just having this random match. They could be doing a #1 contenders challenge for their women's title.
But why can't Jade? Why can't Jade wrestle on Rampage because she's on Elevation though?
She could. I just don't see them using her twice. I wish they will. That'd be great.
But
she's someone I believe that would be a threat to Britt Baker's title reign.
Right, which is why you don't do it right now, because you wait to hold that off until she can beat her,
Yeah, exactly. I would wait for her to actually get the title as well. But I just wish they could build up Red Velvet a bit more. Chris Statlander has a lot of momentum right now. I would have went with her. Especially if they're keeping Britt as the heel. Chris has a lot of face momentum. That would have been my choice. She has many wins. She's had a decent amount of TV time.
Why not have them? Why not
build her up?
Why not? Who was there a women's match tonight? It was terrible. If it was,
yeah. It was Layla Hirsch and the Bunny.
Fuck that. Fuck you for whoever booked that. Go fuck yourselves. Okay, so it should have been Red Velvet.
They tried to have that before as well, because it continued off of the Christian Blade feud, because they came out at that point to the Bunny was getting attacked by Layla Hirsch, and they basically left to
scrap
everybody coming out of the outside.
They should have scrapped the Britt Baker thing. What they should have done, Britt Baker should have came out to introduce herself and sit ringside, and Statlander and Red Velvet should have had a match. So now you add 3 minutes to a match. And you take the bunny match out of here. Get that the fuck out of here with that 2 people that no one cares about wrestling each other. So get rid of them.
That's my point. And they're focused on the NWA title, and then they have Camille come out, and I'm like, wait, who's the champion? I thought it was all right. Camille's a champion. All right. she's got heels on, so she could barely get into the ring. And then Jade starts talking backstage with Mark, and I'm like, why isn't she the challenger? Like, that was even more of like a duh type moment for me. So
Yeah, and listen, I don't mind holding Jade off. That doesn't bother me because otherwise she really...
No, but just showing her immediately after all this was like a...
It was
smack
goofy.
in the face.
It is goofy. I would have... I mean, I was... All night I was like, where's Jade, you know? But whatever. You know, but again, have Red Velvet wrestle Chris Statlander. Now you get your number one contender for next week, and that makes sense. I don't know, whatever. It's just nitpicking here. But again, Red Velvet... I like her, so maybe I hope
but
she has
there's
a good
no
match.
build for anyone. There's nothing. She just gets, it's like another Goldberg type thing with Lashley. You just get to challenge. Why? Because you say so. That's what it comes down to. Is where I feel like they do a good job making wins and losses matter for most of the main roster stuff. Not always, but they've kind of lost their way recently, I feel, with that as well, as far as number one contendership goes.
Well, this was a bad show tonight. I mean,
when you look at who's challenging for
good.
what and where, yeah, I mean, having Lee Johnson go against Miro was an odd pairing.
My God. And then I said, exactly, I thought like...
That went way too long. That was 10 minutes of just boredom.
Cares? Who cares about that match at all?
I mean, that was just... There was nothing good there at all. And I want to like Miro as well, but this was... He's got Dusty Rhodes by his side, or Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, no, Ernest DeMarco. Oh, my... Oh.
Uh-oh.
Nothing. Go ahead.
But Lee Johnson is out there looking like crap, taking down Miro at, you know, and as far as like review scale goes, it was a very unfortunate. So
yeah,
I mean, Miro, he's laughed and he's like petting him, and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you stroking this man? You just look weird.
Right.
I don't know. It didn't make Miro look strong.
It wasn't. It's because Lee Johnson is who?
Exactly. He's just such an unknown.
I mean, Miro should have just killed this guy. This should have been a squash match. So it wasn't a squash match, and it just that everything. We normally love AEW. I mean, listen, I normally love AEW. This was, I think, 1 out of 4. I tend to give it a harder time. So yeah, just nothing here at all for me. I liked Miro's. We like Miro's look, promo, whatever. We enjoy that. I think Lee Johnson, this was just a weird match that should have been on Dark or something.
Something like that, yeah. Or save it for their Friday show in front of the crowd, like if they really want. But even that would have been, yeah, more for a Dark thing. And speaking of Rampage, you're going to have Excalibur, Jericho, Taz, and then, holy shit, Mark Henry. And I know I'm not the first one to comment on this, but we did bring this up a while ago. You know, it's funny to see everybody that Randy Orton has interacted with has ended up in AEW just about. Mark Henry, you know, that was their last interaction. Same thing with Christian. Same thing with now Ric Flair, most likely. Like,
yeah,
everybody that, you know, seemed to be run off by Randy Orton. So we'll see what happens, but it is pretty amusing. Obviously, we'll see Ric Flair there soon enough. We know that's going to happen. And it all but seems like Bray Wyatt is going there as well, which will be interesting.
We're going to have the 4 Horsemen in AEW. That's what they're going for, it looks like.
That, they wanted that for a long time. They teased that ages ago.
Right.
So,
yeah, they love it. Wait till Rampage, man. I'm excited for that. Except for I may have to monetize this again because, like, I'm starting to think, like, man, Friday could be wild with SmackDown and then Rampage going on. Like, I don't know.
We'll have to test it, but
let's see.
Yeah, D. Welsh did mention that you know, Cody Rhodes took off his other boot in the ring after the show went off the air and then walked off. So it is basically another retirement angle for him, but we knew he was going to film, so
yeah.
And it would be interesting to see if Jericho also does take time off in the next 2 weeks after finishing the labors, what happens then. So it's interesting that, you know, because that opens up a good amount of TV time between Cody and Jericho being away.
I would expect him to get through the labors, to face MJF, and then MJF cheats to beat him, or something like that, and that's where, you know, he would go away, or something like that would happen, I would think. Otherwise, if they're completing everything, though, then you would think that Jericho would win, then MJF would win back, and that would be where Jericho gets injured or something and goes away. But again, Jericho,
that seems to be what they want.
We always think this about Jericho though, and he never goes away. And now he's on the announce team, and Mark, people are like, oh my God, 4 people. Listen, Mark Henry will barely say a word on that announce team, so it's going to be Jericho's going to be yip yapping, Excalibur is going to be talking. Who's the other one? Big Show.
Crap, I just said it too.
It's Excalibur, Jericho, Mark Henry, and somebody else. And I think it's Big Show. Maybe? Oh, no, Taz. It's Taz.
Taz.
So
yep, Taz. I had to go back in my notes.
Taz and Excalibur are like. So this is kind of what I've been talking about for a while in a way. It's Taz and Excalibur. I expect Taz to be sort of the more like level-headed color guy. And you would think Excalibur is the straight guy who's calling the action, that knows all the moves. And
exactly. He's just there to pick up the moves that people don't know and the facts that are obscure. And Jericho will likely probably play more color than Taz, I think.
I'm hoping that Jericho is the like. See,
I would probably imagine Taz being lead as he's been a few times with Dark. So
it could be fun. Now I don't know. Not really sure why they need a 4th guy. Not sure why Mark Henry's on the team.
Mark Henry was there. They started Elevation because of Big Show. They're starting this because of Mark Henry. Like that was he won't be there every week, but this is their big ad. So
okay,
it will be. They're going to
be like,
see what they do for
Jericho's going to be like, did you see what he just did, you idiot? Taz, you weren't even looking. And Taz's like, I saw what he did. He knocked him out with an elbow. You're damn right he knocked him out with an elbow. And now, pile driver. And then Jericho will be like, oh, I think he might have broke his neck. And then Mark Henry's going to go, he's like butter, man. His head looked like butter. His head looked like butter splattered. It's going to be like all this, all over the place with this announce team of.
Give me the butter, baby.
Shit bomb.
My dick feels like corn.
You become.
Be better than WWE announce teams, I'll tell you that.
And he thought you were Joe Rogan at first.
Red Comet Man, thanks for the $2. That's hilarious. I mean,
yeah, Joe Rogan.
You even spelled Cronin. I don't get it. I love Booker T though. God damn, I love Booker.
He's always entertaining.
I mean, we've had a lot of people on this show. I would really enjoy talking to Booker T. That'd be real fun. I love Booker.
Great.
That'd be great.
Just because I know he's got all these crazy stories too that he still every time pulls one out. It's hilarious.
Don't mind if I do. What's my name? Duncachino. It's a whole new game. Duncachino. You want creamy goodness? I'm your friend. Say hello to my chocolate blend.
Joe the Red Comet Man was on the Booker T show. He dropped a bomb asking Booker to come on the show. He said yes. Red Comet Man yummy, romantic face.
Wait, he dropped a bomb too? Is that a different video that I missed? Is there another one?
I don't know.
You dropped the bomb! Oh. And then he spelled here, H-E-A-R. The JCS crew is here. Thank you, JCS Foot Rub. Thank you guys for harassing Booker T with money.
Yeah,
appreciate
he's
that.
not hating it.
You become a shit bomb.
Thank everyone for the love. You was okay tonight. Enjoying the booking of Black. Entrance looks sick also. Love you guys. 6 5/10.
Yeah.
Again, congrats, Cody, and congrats on the engagement.
He's getting married at the age when my girl left me and I almost wanted to kill myself and
tried to drink yourself.
Tried to drink myself to death and found a better person. So hope she's the one.
Some reason I miss. Some reason I miss phoning you from a phone booth. I miss phone booths. I miss phone booths. I miss phoning you from a fucking phone booth. I miss phone booths. I miss phoning you. I miss phoning you from a fucking phone booth.
But Omega can say 69 me Don on Dynamite.
Yeah, it pays to be an EVP. You know that.
69 me Don. Furry balls plop menacingly on my table. Thanks for the $3. Yes, this is a big contradiction in the company. Poor Max
and
Caster.
contradiction from the fans because more people like Cody, Kenny instead of the Acclaim.
Right.
Thank you, Furry
Smoke
Balls.
weed every day.
Thanks for the B-Day, love, you're much appreciated.
Happy 32 to Ryan the Heel, baby. Happy birthday, baby.
Happy
Drink
birthday,
it,
Doc.
smoke it, and slap it, and wax your carrot on one of those action figures in your room on the wall there. Do it for me.
Really, those comments were less gruesome than what they did in that match last week. Like, that was more...
Yeah.
That's more offensive than the death match. I think the death match would be... Like, kids wouldn't understand what they're talking about, but they can understand bleeding and cuts and violence just because of the imagery. So I think that would be worse than
I
what
just
they
got
said,
breaking
no?
news that AEW will have their last Dynamite show on December 29th, which will be in Daly's place, which will be 1 year since Brody Lee's passing. Fuck my life, I'm not ready for the tears again.
John
It'll be
Wills,
1 year
thank
for the
you.
tribute show. Yeah.
Well, wait, it's a tribute show?
Well, that'll be 1 year for his tribute show anniversary.
Oh, I get it. John Wills, thank you for the $5 and becoming a $5 ship bum. Yeah, it's really hard to believe that he's gone still. Like we just keep so weird, man. It's weird because a lot of people die that we don't really know, but it's crazy.
Yo, this whole city, we're gritty. Yo, we might eat our own shitty. Yeah, eat our own shitty. In the city of Philly, we eat shitty. We're gritty as can be. We can survive off our motherfucking own feces. In Philly, we're gritty. In Philly, we're gritty. This whole city, we'll eat our own shitty. In Philly, that's why our mascot looks like a
AEW was so much better than NXT last night.
Yeah.
That ending had me fool thought Cody was going to retire, but I think that the PPV in September will be Cody's last match for a while. Joe, check out ESPN Scott Hall documentary. It starts off at top rope.
Thank you, Alabama. I did get the message. Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, wow.
That documentary's been out for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, the documentary actually, they got all that footage from Top Rope Promotions. I wasn't working there yet.
When he had that meltdown?
That was where the owner was like, I showed them the real Scott Hall that night. Like, holy shit, bro. I know that guy very well, too.
I don't get the point of the power rankings and they don't use them. Paige is ranked number 1 yet has to fight for a title match. Thunder Rosa is number 1 and nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
Young Bucks say no one left yet still never faced 4 of the top ranked teams.
Yeah,
Yep.
it doesn't make sense. Aloha. the
Ayatollah
Chips.
of Chips and Cola. What a name.
Oh my
That is
God,
awesome.
dude. I was like, I was starting to say aloha. Like, and
Yeah,
stuff. Like I
I
don't
got
know what
you.
the fuck that said.
I got you.
You become
Oh my
a
God.
shitball.
I serve my uses.
Malakai's entrance was dope.
That was not what I was expecting from them, and
Yeah.
because it was so simple, and then I thought like something was wrong with my service at first because it kept going black. I'm like, oh no, the way they blacked that out and came back. I had one gripe, criticism, I would even say, that doesn't even matter really, but I only wish that the lights went out at the end of his match, a la The Fiend, and then he just disappeared.
Yeah.
I think that would be better with because you can obviously say the lights out, he ran in the back, but it'd be a cooler image just to see the lights go out and then Cody, just stuck there when he came back, no lights. Same thing, the way he appears, he disappeared, then the light should have went out again. He could have reappeared. They like the lights out thing, and fucking do it more. If you're gonna do it, go all out. That's what I said. But for some of it, yeah, you're like, I can't see shit. That was kind of the point. I like the hood that he had with the antlers coming through the smoke with the backlight. I like the theme song. It was a very eerie atmosphere. And I like how they're not making him be anything but malevolent in spirit and mind only. Like, he doesn't have supernatural powers. He's just crazy.
Right.
He's a fucking insane individual. And the really cool part is there's clues in that Instagram video that show, Patrick pointed this out to me as well, that the insane asylum that they escaped from that MALAKAI escaped from is also at the same institution that Moxley got out of when he broke free. So
That's
Moxley
funny.
broke out of the penitentiary part of this place, and so it's all WWE, obviously. But the fact that he made this canon that Moxley escaped from the penitentiary section and he escaped from the mental ward is awesome.
Right.
You know, so now everybody that's getting out of WWE is somehow in their story. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just adds to
cool.
his backstory, and I really do enjoy his in-ring ability. I hope they don't just bring Cody back and have him squash Black at the pay-per-view. I mean, they've done that several times now where Cody loses and then he's got to come back to get his win quick. He's put over how many people now when they come into the company? I mean, several at least. You know, I hope that's not the case here. I mean, it was a good match, and I'm glad that it was only 5 minutes long because that Black Mass was awesome. And then he just puts his foot on him for the pin. So stoic, so just badass. I loved everything that they gave us and how malevolent Black was by focusing on Cody's knee the entire time. He was, you know, vengeful and purposeful in his movements, and everything he did was, you know, part of his plan. You could tell.
It's so
I like
weird.
the character so far.
It's so weird how they did the exact thing, which we said they would, and then they did it. It's so weird that they did exactly what we thought, which was, okay, he's going away to that Wipeout show again. Brody Lee came in, and they did the same thing. You squashed me just like Brody Lee did, and now I'm gone, and now you look good. Like, it's just weird. I get it, because we thought they would do this. We expected this. But it is strange that they just were like, let's just do that again. Same thing.
And then the retirement thing, and it's like, you know, Cody's 36. He just had a child, but he's not retiring.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's busy. He's got things to do, but he's not retiring.
That's what's like. It's weird that he can't challenge for the world title. It's weird that there are all these retirement stories already coming up with him. It just feels weird. I'm 36.
I mean, so many people have stipulations now where they can't challenge for things.
I'm
Hangman
37.
Can't challenge. Right?
I'm older than Cody.
I'm going to be 34. I'm not that far off. And that's the thing. I'm just, there's so many people that have those type of stipulations where they can't challenge for belts now and they can't go after things. And it's a lot to keep up with because they layer these things on thick.
Right. Yeah.
It's just not as effective, I think, as they think it is. And that's the problem. And it was funny. D. Welsh, I believe it was, sent us that Roddy Piper last promo that he had.
Oh, yeah.
Where he did it in MLW in Piper's Pit, where the former WWE writer came out and, you know, Kev was there and they go back and forth and Kevin Eck, and it was entertaining and everything Piper said was great. And Kevin's like, I wrote you great lines and you buried me because you went out there. And he's like, no, I did what had to be done. And your writing screwed everything over. I went out there, I did my job. And it was just how the way he put down writers and creative. And he said that, you know, the writers are the ones that are the biggest marks. And then you hear these things, the way Tony came out tonight and the way the show is produced and the way he, you know, essentially in my eyes, buried Max and threw him under the bus, or at least didn't defend him. Yeah, it feels that way. You know, Mr. Booker of the Year doesn't seemingly care. Right. So long as he gets to stay in his position, anybody else is expendable.
Yeah, that's basically what it felt like. And he was a great promo. It was a fun promo. I enjoyed watching that because just seeing Roddy Piper, man, they had great comments. I really had a good time.
Yeah,
watching that video.
That was a great thing to see, and so sad that we lost him so many days after that. But I still wish he was one of the ones still around. So, and sadly, you know, like I said, I'm worried that, you know, with this type of fake faux retirement angle yet again, does it really add any sentiment to Cody? Does it make it, because it's not believable? Did anybody buy it that isn't a young child?
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't just go with I'm going to take some time and think about, you know, something and then get hit. Why did he have to be like, I'm retiring? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, he didn't need to, you know. Why did they have a crutch for him? That was weird.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I don't even know why because they gave it to him.
They just have a crutch nearby all the time.
And then they were like, okay, and it was still too short for him anyway, so he couldn't even, you know, get up.
They had it so he could get hit in the back with it.
I know that's sadly what it was there for, but Chekhov's crutch. But What a waste. Yet again, he comes up and he's like, "Oh, I wanted to challenge for the belt that they took from my dad in the garden, and time flies and everything's changed." And I
like that
remember how I
part.
met the guys.
I
And
did
it was
like
a good
that.
promo there.
That was
it
good.
It should have stopped before he ever mentioned anything about being tethered to everybody and how this is the AEW amphitheater. He should have stopped right at that point. Nothing about him taking his boot off and saying how the fans loved him and getting sentimental. None of that should have been said. He should have just said what he said before, like we said, and then got hit.
Yeah.
That should have been it. Him doing the whole retirement thing is so unnecessary.
Yeah, and if it worked for a lot of people, then awesome. It was just for me, I was like, I don't believe this at all, but okay. And that's what we're saying is that part took us out of it. If he had just been like, I think I'm going to take a long time off here, go home, be with my kid, think about this and what I can do, and it may be a little bit before you see me again, type of thing. And that would have been fine. That was it right there. But the retirement thing threw me out of it a little bit. So that's what we're saying. But I think a lot of people bought it in the right way. So it worked for a lot of people. But just for us,
we'll see. We'll see. The reaction I looked at on Twitter was not too convincing, but
why do people not like? I don't know. I love Cody, man. I love this guy. I love when he comes
I do
out.
like Cody. I just don't like the way they've treated Cody like this speed bump of an entry to AEW land. Everybody has to take him and knock him out to get into AEW's roster. And then eventually he's got to get his win back. And that's his entire feuds or storyline purpose for the last 2 years. Ever since they said he couldn't challenge for the title, he's, and got rid of the, even parts of the TNT title. It was bring new guys in, put them over. If they didn't beat him, then he made them look incredible. Granted, but he was all about building the new talent, but he never really had any serious stories because he was either getting squashed or just getting his win back. And that time after time, that's pretty much how they've used him. I know Cody's worth more than these silly little simple stories to always just, hey, it's a new guy. Let's have them beat Cody to get into the company.
Speaking of a new guy, real quick, I just got to shout out Relic. He became a $25 patron on Patreon. Thank you to Relic. Just wanted to shout him out before I forgot. Shout out to the listeners tonight who have been listening, hitting the like button, saying good shit. What did you guys think of AEW? Give me your rating. Maybe we can put up a poll. I'm curious to what you guys thought. Some people really liked it. Some people, whatever. I'm curious as to your AEW rating. What it was. Let's see. Let me put up. I'll give 4 answers. You guys go ahead and vote there, and let us know what you thought. I thought it was you've heard what we thought. I think some people really, liked tonight a lot. I don't think anybody can think this was an 8 or 9 out of 10. I don't think anybody can think it's a 10, a 9, or an 8. But I could see some people think it's a good 7, but I would give tonight, I actually think this is one of their worst shows ever. Bottom 5 show, maybe. Or maybe bottom 10. I would give tonight probably I'll give it maybe a 5, which ties my lowest rating I've ever given it.
I was going to say a 5 myself.
Yeah, I almost thought about 4, but I'll give it a 5, I guess.
I don't think they ruined anything with Andrade. I don't think they ruined anything with Aleister Black. I thought they made Andrade look more like a heel than before, attacking Fuego. Fuego's kind of like a beloved character, by the YouTube fans. Basically, he's part of the vlogs and those kind of things. So
right.
He also wrestles on Dark and Elevation often. So he's popular with with that, and he's very likable. He's got multiple kids. He's a funny character. He just seems like a very easy to get along with person. And hopefully, he actually gets a contract soon enough. We'll see. I think he is getting paid, and they're just doing something to string it along. But still, Andrade forcing him to clean his shoes and all that. I like what they're going for. It's not great, but that's the thing. A lot of it is just very run of the mill. The heels have the same motivations. The faces say the same things. It all just feels like a been there, done that tonight. As where usually they tend to push the envelope for some things. Tonight we didn't get that. The labor of Jericho fell pretty flat.
You know what I would have
The
done
only
with
thing that
Andrade?
was the highlight. What's that?
With Andrade, I would have made Andrade like a crime boss from a movie from the 90s or something.
Well, he comes
where-
out as Black Mask. That's perfect to be
Exactly.
a crime boss. Exactly.
So he comes out like basically somebody says they're not going to join him and all that stuff. I want to see him get out of a limo and then have somebody get in his face and be like, hey, I told you, I had your guys calling me all day long, friggin' all day long when I was out with my wife and my kids. And as soon as he gets out of the the door opens to his limo, two guys swarm out from the left and right and just start beating down somebody with these wooden sticks or that they have or whatever, and they're beating the hell out of him, and then they hold him up and and Andrade goes, "You made a mistake, and that's okay. But tomorrow, that whatever it is, the crime boss thing." And then they throw his head through the windshield of the limousine, and then he's like tucks his shirt, and then he goes and he eats lobster or something like that. So later on in the night,
before the lobster thing, have the guys, after he puts his hand through, puts the guy's head through the windshield,
right?
Have him be pissed that there's blood on him.
Yeah. Yeah,
have that be
exactly.
So one of his guards immediately pulls out like a wet wipe to wipe his blood off his hand. Yeah, give him those type of.
Did you get blood on my suit?
Yeah, just to make him even more of a dick, but OCD
coming out
centric
of your paycheck, and then slap him in the face, and then
while he's through the
windshield
windshield,
and walk away.
Yeah.
So he does this whole crime boss thing. He doesn't have to say much. He's a real bad person. And I mean, this type of person. He's a real bad person. And Chavo Guerrero is his number one. So you've got Andrade as the crime boss that says very little but is very sinister. And then you've got Chavo Guerrero. But he's not a guy that goes around and goes, "We got the lobster. We got the wristwatches. We got the gold. We got the money." No. Kenny Omega already does that with Don Callis, and so many other people already do it
like that. Exactly, that makes them seem cheesy and corny. And
yes.
What they have a perfect opportunity right now because Death Triangle can't all be together. Obviously, with the travel limitations being on, they can take Pac and have him submit a video where it looks like he has been absolutely brutalized. Have him make up bleeding, the whole 9 yards. And then they could say Andrade had his men attack him overseas. You're not safe anywhere. They could really have this whole mob syndicated crime boss thing work out on a whole different level. But like you said, they didn't hurt his momentum, but they didn't do anything to make him feel special either yet. And then you have Tony Khan yet again saying Malachi Black and Andrade are real draws. They were kind of the focus of tonight in some ways, and obviously Malachi was, and I don't know.
Andrade would be somewhat of a draw if you did what I said. What he's doing is goofy. And Chavo Guerrero, dude, just do the whole Andrade is an 80s cartoon villain where Chavo comes to Andrade and Andrade's like, "Did you go to the locker rooms of the two men, whatever the fuck, and ask them about what my offer?" And, Chavo Guerrero's like, "Sir, yes, I did. And what did they say?" And Chavo Guerrero's just like, "You're not going to like it." And then Andrade's like, "Well, now bad things are going to have to happen." Or now you know what to
just
do
something
next.
very simple.
Holy shit, what does that mean? This guy's nuts. And so then you've got two guys, right? Two goons, right? You got two goons who are threatening, and then you've got Chavo. And Andrade is the 80s cartoon villain who's like, curse them. And that's his whole thing. And it's a whole different thing than almost anybody else does. Don't come out there like, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks do and all those other things. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't
They're
make him corny
that.
or cheesy. Have him be legit.
Like a literal gangster crime boss. That is what to do. And basically now it's got to the point where his rivalries happen because he's always choosing people that don't want to join him. It's very rare that somebody joins him or does what he wants them to do or whatever. And people are almost scared kind of this guy. Like, I hope he doesn't target me to recruit me in his group or whatever. And, you know, of course, someone cowardice can join him and you can do all this stuff, or someone joins him, like, but then they don't want to be there. And then all these things can happen. And then finally some other group is going to have to oppose the guy and other people are going to wrestle him and keep him on the low key. He doesn't need to go after all these titles. You know, one week he could say, you know, he could easily say, like, you know, the you know what I like, the TNT championship. That looks good to me. You know, I think I informed Miro that he has to meet me in a match and he lay down and I become TNT champion. Go tell him, you know. And then someone tells Miro, like, Miro, I just gotta tell you, listen, I just came from Chavo Guerrero, who came from Andrade, and Andrade has told me, like, you know, he wants you to meet him out there and lay down. And, you know, Miro's like, lay down, like, I'll kill him. Like, Chavo's
they keep saying Lana's doing her own thing,
him.
but you keep hearing she might be introduced into AEW. Miro's saying she's doing her own thing. It's not about me. It's about what she wants to do. She's been in the business such a long time and came fresh out of nowhere. I wouldn't be surprised if she stays in wrestling because there's so many opportunities because she's one of the best. All right, he's talking up his wife, obviously, but there's a lot of rumors that she's also one of the ones they've been trying to procure to head to AEW. So what a better way to introduce her than people know that's his wife. Don't hide that fact. Have Andrade with this heel gimmick, have her kidnapped. Go all the way with it.
Well,
you know?
I would do that, but I wouldn't do that now. But that's interesting.
No, but build up the story where Andrade almost beats Miro. Long, drawn-out match, almost beats Miro, but time limit. 30-minute match, time limit. Came close, but he couldn't put him away. And this is after Andrade has had multiple matches where he's put everyone away. Miro knows this and kind of taunts and flaunts. You stood no chance against me. You could never do it. And it was almost like Miro was not trying fully. Like he was, and then he was a bit surprised, but he didn't take Andrade seriously. So now, you know, the continuation is Andrade being mad. Then he can build up the story of, I want you to lay down for me. I want you to give me that title. I earned it last time. I should have had it. Lay down for me now if you ever want to see your wife again, kind of idea.
Dude, how great would it be if I'm sorry, I'm being so ridiculous right now. I'm about to go insane on this next thing.
Hey, it's fun to have it.
Imagine if Andrade doing the whole 80s, 90s villain guy thing goes, you know, basically like Andrade won the title from Miro or whatever the case is, where they are on a rooftop and he challenges Miro and he goes, fine, we can have a match, but you've got a half an hour to get up here. And Miro's like, what the hell? He's on the top of a building or whatever. So he tries to go through the building on the steps. The elevator's out, by the way. Elevator's out. Steps are blocked. Like they're completely blocked off. And Miro can't get to the roof where his wife is. You know, where they're holding Lana or whatever. And there's a ring on the top of the roof. And so, you know, Andrade is not even dressed to wrestle. And the commentator's like, dude, he's not even dressed to wrestle. He never expected to have a match. They're not going to have a match. Like, there's a ring there. Yeah, but he's dressed. He's in a suit. And they're like, yeah, and what the hell are they going to do to Lana or whatever her name is? CJ Perry, CPT, Woody.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's like duct taped, you know, in the mouth, tied behind on a chair like a movie. And Andrade's like, see, I told you how weak your husband is. He couldn't even get up here to save you. He couldn't get up here to wrestle me for the TNT championship. The referee's just standing there like, all right, whatever. And then fucking...
Make the stipulation, too, where he had to agree where if he doesn't show, he wins the title.
Exactly.
So really put it all on the line. And
yes.
If you really want to go crazy with it, do the villain that's got the girl tied to the tracks kind of thing. Do it like where she's got some type of timer trap where he's going to torch her hair or cut her hair off at 30 minutes. Like, do something. He's like, I'm going to disfigure you to make you look ugly, that kind of thing.
I would just go simple with, like, she has to be his, you know, servant for 4 weeks or something on the show.
Oh, I was going to say, because you're so vain and focus on your looks, so I'm going to scar your face so you can no longer act, and that kind of thing. Like, he gets real sinister with it.
Oh my God! Well, and
make
then
him really evil.
Imagine,
the blowtorch in front of her.
Imagine a helicopter coming up from the other side.
That was
of the
my
building.
idea. The helicopter.
And then
you
Miro,
see the timer ticking down. There's 20 seconds left. 10 seconds, and then Miro repels. Yeah,
Miro jumps off the helicopter onto the fucking. Oh my God, bro! Or even if the helicopter just
Booker
landed.
T is flying the helicopter, and gives him the thumbs up, and
my God,
Mark Henry's holding the rope that lowers him down. That's when Miro gets into the ring and he unties his wife and saves her right as the blowtorch goes off, and he gets her out of there in time, and then he beats Andrade. This is the kind of shit we need, and then. Curse you, Andrade, if it wasn't for you and the meddling Booker T, like that kind of thing.
Oh, my God.
We need fun. And AEW usually is entertaining even when it's not great.
Yeah.
Tonight, it was lacking that spontaneity and that fun factor. Everything felt just boring and predictable, which is not typical of AEW, and that's not their strong suit.
Yeah, it was just
usually
flat.
It's crazy.
A little flat tonight, and after WWE being so bad, it was kind of like, oh, but it was a little perk. It was like I was a little perked up for the show, more than WWE. It was the good thing for AEW is these bad shows, or these not bad shows, but these sort of like blasé shows or flat shows. They don't have a lot of them, and so they probably bounce right back next week. That's been the history. They're very similar to how NXT used to be with their pay-per-views, where one out of 9 we would be like, oh, that wasn't the craziest over the top show, but it was still a 7, and we used to do that. Now, to me, AEW's on that cycle.
Yo,
Maybe.
Crazy shit just happened. Kurt Angle and Tom Brady video call I just posted. Joe, please share now.
Oh.
Crazy for real. Jake the Don DeMarco, you don't want to miss this. Everyone for that matter. The Wrestle Daily, follow them.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got to follow the Wrestle Daily and Botch Club. Let's go listen to what they're talking about on Botch Club.
And I'm not just talking any kind of sex with your wife.
Whoa.
I'm talking, that kind of bestiality sex.
Oh.
With your wife. I want to have sex with your wife.
Oh, my God.
And I'm not just talking any...
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's a Kurt Angle request. I know. It's pretty commonly...
And I'm not just talking any
what
kind of sex with
he
your
seeks
wife.
after.
I'm talking...
He likes married women.
That kind of bestiality sex.
Who doesn't know that those are Vince McMahon's words, by the way? And I'm talking that I don't want to just have sex with your wife. I'm talking I want to have bestiality sex with your wife. Like, that's so Vince McMahon wrote that. Like, I mean, 100%.
The poll completed, and 42% agree, not the best. 36% said good, 13% said
I didn't even end it.
8% terrible. I believe it was timed. So
What? I didn't even time it. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, there's an option to.
What the fuck? Anyway, there you go. Yeah, so 36% of you said good, but yeah, not the best one. And that tells me that my 5 out of 10 score is pretty accurate then for what at least most people in this community agree with. So
yeah, that's what I didn't want to copy it, but that was unfortunately I'm right there.
Thanks, Botch Club.
There was, yes, thank you. And there wasn't much to really get behind. I mean, the Cody Rhodes MALAKAI match was good, but it was what I was expecting, but not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a knockdown, drag out fight. But as we got further along, you could tell that, all right, this is going to be a 4 or 5 minute match, pretty much a squash, and then some type of attack. That's what we got. I just wish we had a much better fight here, but they'll have a better match in the future. Still good for what we got, but again, run of the mill. And then the opening match with Jericho, it was good for the ending because of MJF losing his mind on commentary, but they nearly killed each other quite a few times. And I mean, most of it was just not good. They lacked that chemistry they once had. And I mean, obviously, if you're out of wrestling that long, I mean, Hoovy looked good, but there was a lot of timing mistakes. Jericho was blowing up early on, so some of the spots looked really awkward. And I mean, I couldn't do it any better, but Jericho certainly needs to work on his cardio if he's going to finish these labors, because he looked exhausted like 4 or 5 minutes in.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did look tired tonight. So although
He
you
looked
weren't,
beat.
I didn't even notice. I noticed a lot of things a lot of times, but I didn't really notice too much. But you're right. People were saying that, and I was like, oh well, okay, maybe he's tired.
Shit bomb.
A lot of people said that.
You become
I did not notice.
a shit bomb.
But you're right. I did notice now.
Joe,
but-
do you think Ziggler will be air you?
And him and his brother can make a tag team, maybe? I don't know. I don't care. Ziggler is so just dead to me at this point.
I have no interest in him or his carbon copy brother, sadly.
Yeah.
And the names aren't bad.
Little
I
Billy
mean, they're
Gunn.
good in the ring, but
Yeah, great. Good in the ring, pretty good. You know, he's a good guy. What is he going to do? You know, who cares?
what can they accomplish at this point? What
Andrade
is there
being
to
something
see?
like Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad would be perfect. Like you
Yeah.
said, quiet but sinister. You could have so many characters introduced through some kind of operation he's running.
Right.
Yep. And don't have him, like Bob said, turn into Scarface, but, maybe
Yeah,
a
and
little
he's-
Carlito's way.
He's kind of like, and yeah, what I said was a little bit about kind of like the Roman Reigns character, but it's different because
But Roman's about family. This is about money.
yeah, this is like money, and he's running an operation, and but he's also bad. Like I'm saying, bad when he
Like
says
Roman still has some morals because he's doing certain things for his family. Andrade, we can obviously see he has no soul. Like we should have like Julia Hart, and she's only 19. She's very young. They just made a vagina joke that upset people.
Right.
So let's do one where she was about to be attacked by a male, and Andrade, you think he's going to save her, but then really it's him and his goons threatening the guy to hurt her worse. That kind of
well,
stuff.
even a
where he gets
situation
mental.
like a situation where they're in a room together with somebody having dinner, having lobster. Like we will just keep saying lobster because that's what they talked about.
Yeah, all
they're
the money.
having lobster, and the guy disagrees with Andrade, or somebody disagrees with Andrade, and is like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And Andrade basically picks up his fork and he hands it to one of the goons and goes, "Use this." And the guy's like, "What do you mean use that?" And the lights go out, or just off camera, the guy, you see from an over the shoulder shot, Andrade's face, the guy over here, and he gets pulled off camera, struggling noises, and you hear ah, and then and Andrade is like wiping his face, and Andrade just looks and he goes and he just smiles like a little bit, and like the next week we see the guy in the back being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and Tony's like, "What?" He's like, "What the hell happened?" And the guy's got an eye patch, or he's got a scar on his face and it's like
have him be like
used
really
a
evilly
fork.
sadistic.
Yeah, this guy used a fork.
That's why I'm saying it would be more like Ernest was saying, stop it because it's the same thing, but it's not. It wouldn't be. He would be much.
I don't even know
more
who
of
that
an
is.
Evil bastard.
I never saw Breaking Bad, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
No, but he's saying it compares to Roman. I don't think
Oh.
it's the same thing as
No.
to Roman at all. I think this is way beyond.
we're taking it to
Roman's just doing a family thing. This
Yeah.
guy's being dastardly and evil.
Yeah, we're taking it to another level. And this isn't like Proud and Powerful where they would be like, "Oh, you fucked with us? We just popped your tires in your car." And it's like, "Oh shit, they knocked out all the tires with a knife in the car, or they hit him in the head with like a bottle or something." Like this is another level of sick, like what Andrade is doing for money and whatever else he's doing. And I really think that could be fun and goofy and almost play it like in a way that it's like not
Less
happening.
is more.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's off to its own story where like they don't even reference it too much on the show. And then eventually he comes out and wrestles once in a while. And it's like it's gotten to the point where he is scary, like, but not in a horror way or another goth guy way, or that he's a gangster.
Yeah, he's not supernatural and he's not crazy. He's just evil. You know that, hey, shit, if I
He's
mess
cold.
with him,
Yes.
he'll bury me and not in the character sense.
And imagine if Charlotte came over to AEW and Ric Flair and he had them like sort of in his corner in a way. Like,
Allegedly, she's got more heat backstage. People are upset with her, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you hear the same reports constantly, but
Right.
it definitely seems like she's trying to tick people off.
Yep.
She kept saying Nikki Cross, Nikki ASH Cross the other night. They don't want her saying Cross at all. So that ticked people off in the back, allegedly. I could see why, but they're trying to have the Cross name be forgotten about
Deleted.
because of Carrion.
Yeah, I mean,
So if she's got all this heat and she does want out,
it is similar to the
then-
Lucha Underground, like a little bit like
yeah,
Muerte.
the Lucia Underground, yes.
Mil Muertes like was very similar like to this sort of thing in a way, or like the who's the guy who ran it for a while? God damn it, what's his name? Fuck, I can't think of the names in Lucha anyway. But yeah, it is Lucha-esque. I would say you're right.
But Lucha was also every crime movie as well. Kind of that's every crime mob movie is pretty similar.
Give this guy this role. Like, and it solves every problem. It keeps him from saying, we got the watches and the women and all this stuff. It's like Matt Hardy's doing that too. It's like everyone's doing that. Stop. So let Andrade be this cold, sick person.
Yeah, we had Bobby Lashley trying to show off with the women and the money, and that was the distractions for him recently. Like, these things we don't need, and just total boredom. That's the thing. Most of this was just boring. Having Everrise appear and immediately get destroyed by Moxley and Kingston and Darby,
by the way,
hitters laying in.
It
was a fun match.
Their promo on YouTube or on Twitter or wherever it was, that was kind of funny. I kind of enjoyed their promo. If you happen to see it, anybody saw it, that was great. But tonight, I mean, who cared? This was just a reason to get all the good guys.
That's what I'm saying. It was just a trios match. They have to get those in because that makes the fans pop.
Yeah.
And Christian's still undefeated, but I don't think it's going to lead to anything. Really. And then, like I said, the segment with Hangman Page, really, I didn't care for. I mean, they're beating the shit out of him with magic killers and BTEs, and you see the Dark Order not help him because that's what he asked for, but whatever. Like, all of this is just not great.
Yeah.
Kazarian's trying to help, but he's getting his ass kicked too. And then apparently they're going to have Dan Lambert come back, bringing backup next week. Imagine if his backup is Lesnar.
Oh, that's going to be funny. Yeah,
that's what the immediate rumor mill had to spew out. It's not happening, but
that would be hilarious.
That would be top notch if he got embarrassed the first time to bring Lesnar as his mercenary. Oh my God!
Holy shit! And plus, he's the UFC guy. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that. It's probably someone from the UFC world, though, not Lesnar, though.
Yeah, I mean, he had Masvidal with him and what's his name?
Yeah.
Nunez last time, and they just laughed at him. So who the hell is he going to bring this time that's going to defend him?
Right.
You had the bad motherfucker, and you did nothing.
I'm looking for Andrade's new music.
Yeah, you got to have like a James Bond theme. And him doing the Black Mask entrance fits already with the zoot suit and all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So good. But also, I guess Ruby Riott is going to AEW.
Yeah, they need
That's
her.
Right.
They need
Ruby
someone
Soho
like her.
is going to be her name, apparently. And she'll be, because her non-compete clause is up days before All Out. So apparently she's going to be showing up at All Out.
Damn, let's go. She's good, so this is going to be good.
Lovelace was great in the indies, going back and watching her matches. So that's why I was shocked how little and how they just didn't use her in WWE. Like, this is even be like anytime the Riot Squad put people over, in all those matches they lost, all that time they were on TV, they never won a match televised till close to the very end before they split them up.
Yeah.
And even then, it was like they just did nothing with her. She was just cannon fodder. She got fed to people and finished her, time and time again.
Ruby is just a solid
finisher.
She's solid, like a solid 7. Like, it's not like, I don't think she's like, I don't like her like Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker yet, or ever did, but she's really good. Like Statlander and Red Velvet and the other ones, like, she's like up there. Like, Ruby is really good. Every match she has is always at least pretty good, usually. Like, usually good. Like, if it's not whatever. So it's just,
I think she would be a good addition to
the
the roster because she can add more of a credible flair. That's someone that Britt can have a feud with.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The fans will easily get behind, and then they can go ahead and right away they have a ready-made feud. I mean, that's what you need. I
agree. And
they need some credible women because we have no great challengers for Britt Baker.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. The women need a boost up, need a few more heads. Let's hope we get them. And let's hope they go with this sort of crime boss thing for Andrade. I hope someone from the show clips all these clips of me ranting about it and sends it to Tony Khan and AEW and everybody else. And maybe they've kind of already got that. Like, look, it's like you said, like, this is they've got their, oh man, just don't make them be like, we've got the wristwatches, we've got the, stop that. Everyone else is doing that. Be a fucking sick crime boss. That's what you got to be. Let's go. Let's do it. All right, we're out of here, Jake. Have a good night. Keep kisses and wet to you, and I'll talk to you off.
Yes, indeed. We'll see everybody tomorrow on Patreon for Out of Nowhere. That's patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show.
Ooh.
Be there, as we got a lot to cover. I mean, WWE is concerned about SummerSlam. We've got a lot to talk about with future plans of AEW regarding CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and several other surprises. NXT viewership. We'll have the numbers for Dynamite. Just a whole lot to cover. So make sure you're there, and we'll see you then.
Get it wet, baby. Good night. Stay sexy. I got it for Jake. Is this it? Is this it? No. Is this Andrade's new music? That could be it. That's getting there. That's getting there, right? We got to find Andrade's music, you know? Somebody has to, we have to find it. Maybe we can find it. Is this it? No. It's not fire enough. No, that's just a bunch of noises. We need some real, we need some heat. You know? Maybe this? What's this? Something like this, maybe? Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. I'll think of something. But we could really build Andrade up to be this out there, just sick, mean person that's cold. Not this fun, like, we got the watches, we got the lobster. Don't do that. No. It's like, well, since you don't like lobster, maybe you like a broken hand. Like, and that's when the guys just grab the guy's hand, whip out a pool cue, and like, ah! And Andrade is just fucking like, there you go. He likes a broken hand. You know, that type of shit. But that's me. That's my opinion. We'll see what they do. I love AEW. And tonight, though, was lackluster for me. Like the ending, though. Good main event. That was really the whole thing. Thanks to everybody who donated. Shout out to the Soundwave 92. He is the top dog tonight. And he got it wet down below. Shout out to him. It's Kenny Omega time. I hear the devil's balls. Visit my Patreon so you guys can hear Out of Nowhere tomorrow night.